Welcome back. In a significant development ahead of the 2027 general elections, Atiku Abubakar coalition has unveiled leaders from the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. The leaders are Northeast Atiku Abubakar, North Central David Mark, Northwest Nasir El Rufai, South Rotimi Amechi, Southeast Peter Obi, Southwest Rauf Aregbesola. This strategic move is seen as a bid to strengthen coalition's presence across the country and potentially shake up the political landscape in 2027. The announcement has generated buzz among political analysts and stakeholders, with many speculating about the implications for the upcoming elections. But right now we're talking about various coalitions across the country. But then let's even bring this conversation back to you, Ezema. Of course, I'm looking at what's happening right now, where various political parties are coming together and they're trying to even use ADC, which is the African Democratic Congress, as the driver for all of their coalition strategy. On the other hand, SDP has now been divided into two, where they now have a faction of the SDP. The ADC right now is also not even in its right frame of mind. The Labour Party has been divided into three different houses: the Abure, the Namadi, and the rest other factions of the Labour Party. The PDP is still having internal democratic tussle. Looking at this coalition, which the general party members are not even agreeing to, but just being moved by presidential candidates of the 2023 election who perhaps are not satisfied with the outcome of the election. When you look at all of these, do you think that this is a formidable force for Nigerians to even want to subscribe or be able to even align their thought with?
Well, you see, any form of coalition in Nigeria is going to be Herculean, in the sense that you are talking of a country where the incumbent has a firm grip of the state apparatus, have a firm grip of probably the INEC itself, and you want to come together and you want to take over power from such incumbent. You must be very prepared. You know, you should be well prepared, because it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a uhuru. It's not going to be something that you will wake up one morning and you achieve. So it is not impossible, yes, but it is a Herculean task. It's a task that takes mere coming together of people. It's a task that requires actionable plans, an actionable strategy that you are able to, implement in order to, form a formidable coalition that will be able to mobilize and get Nigerians to vote. Most people in the country, yes, they are disenchanted with the government. They are not happy with the administration. But you know that is not just enough, because in Nigeria, as it is today, the civil society is virtually dead, in comatose. And if the civil society is in comatose in a country, in a democracy of this nature, you know that the country has a long way to go, so it is the opposition. They actually have to deal first with the issue of how do they mobilize the civil society, to be able to go all out to sensitize and get people who are actually docile. Some people, as what Fela called suffering and smiling. Everywhere you go, people are suffering. People feel bad, but yet they are smiling. At the little token, they are ready to sell their vote. They are ready to, trade whatever conscience they have in order to be able to, get a meal for the day. So, and that is where the issue is. If the opposition is going to really achieve their purpose of forming a coalition, I think they are going to first of all deal with the issues that has to do with reviving the civil society, and then also awakening the docile citizens, and then mobilizing them for them to be able to vote and vote out an incumbent.
But James, Ezema, let's look at the figures again. We've said that Atiku Abubakar is representing the Northeast.
Yeah.
We have David Mark at the North Central. Yeah. Nasir El-Rufai in the Northwest.
Yeah.
South, Rotimi Amechi, Southeast, Peter Obi, and also the Southwest, Rauf Aregbesola.
Yes.
All of these names are very resounding within the Nigerian political space. But then, it's as if for the last 8 years, these names have not become forces to reckon with. With this coalition and these individuals representing their various geopolitical zone, can Nigerians beat their chest to say that this coalition, if pulled through, will be solid and formidable for Nigerians to even want to say we are back in this coalition?
You see, these individuals, they are actually notable individuals. They are individuals that have a level of influence within their zones. But it is the issue for a successful coalition is beyond having individuals that have influence within their zones. There's a lot to be done because if you look at it, it's not, Nigerians are not are so divided that you cannot just wake up one morning and announce as a leader or a member of the coalition and say everybody come and follow me. They will ask you questions. Because we the citizens, as it is today, we have had our hands burnt, you know. We have had our hands burnt. We have trusted some leaders, and at the end of the day, they get into office, they will betray the trust, and they go and do whatever they wanted to do. Let's take, for instance, the administration of former President Muhammad Buhari. The coming in 2014-2015 was supported by the masses of the country, and the citizens actually went out of their way. You know, they did not want to listen to anybody who was saying anything to the contrary. They said that former President Muhammad Buhari was the messiah that we are looking for, and when he eventually got to office, he acted for 8 years as though nothing was at stake, as though there were no citizens who supported, as though there were no, poor masses who came out to vote for him. And that is what we're talking about. So most times, as it is now, people should not think that just because some big names are being mentioned, that people will just come out and say, let us go and follow them. Questions are already being asked, because this coalition, where is it headed to? Is it headed towards producing someone as a presidential candidate? And if this is going to produce someone as a presidential candidate, is this person going to be acceptable to the ordinary citizens? Because it's not enough. See, if you have followership, and based on the experiences that we have had in recent times, and those followership discover that the where you are heading towards is a nowhere, they will not follow you. I can tell you that, because I personally have talked with some people. I have sampled opinion here and there, and the people are now looking at who will lead the coalition. So if the wrong person is leading the coalition, that is the end of the coalition. And if the coalition eventually fails, it means that votes is going to be splitted, and if votes are going to be splitted, there's no way you will defeat the incumbent.
Well, looking at this whole coalition process, one will begin to ask, are you sure that the opposition right now are ready for a coalition, going by the various division and the various factions that are formed opposition political parties right now in Nigeria. I just gave an instance of that of Labour Party and currently what's going on within the home of the this is the home of
the coalition. The coalition. No, see, let me tell you. You see, Nigeria is such a diverse society. We have the religious side of the politics in Nigeria. We have the tribal side of the politics in Nigeria. Then we will now have the individuals who people will want to associate with and those whom people will not want to associate with when it comes to issues that has to do with dealing with dividend of democracy, because that is actually what is at stake. What is at stake now is that the people are hungry, people are tired, people are weak, people want a better life, but they will not want to jump into the bandwagon as they did in 2014, 2015 that took them to nowhere. So the opposition will have a lot of convincing to do for the people to actually go for them. Yes, if it comes to the yearning of the Nigerian people are yearning that they need a change, not the kind of change of 2014, 2015, but the real change that will meet their needs, meet their demand, meet those things that they are yearning for. Because they are, take it or leave it, the average Nigerian wants food, he wants water, he wants good roads, he wants electricity, and these things are basic things that are nowhere. There is no housing in Nigeria. Despite all the housing plans and everything, none is within the reach of the common person. So the ordinary person is having his apartment, the rent being increased on daily basis, and it is becoming more serious. And I can tell you there are several Nigerians who are in their numbers who cannot actually feed themselves. I can tell you that some people can hardly take a meal a day, hardly take a meal a day today. And these are the people who are talking about. They want to follow, but they don't want to follow sheepishly like they did in the past. And that is where the coalition, those who are spearheading the coalition have a whole lot of work to do.
Well, James, let's begin with some of the names that we have on the screen. But we'll begin from the southeast, which is Peter Obi, as it stands right now. About 2 weeks ago, Peter Obi has come out to say that he's not interested in any coalition. The only coalition he's interested in is a coalition against hunger, against poverty, against lack, bad governance. That's the only coalition he's interested. I was saying Peter Obi also come out at various occasions to say that he is still with the Labour Party. He's not leaving the Labour Party. He represents the Labour Party. And just on Sunday, which is just a few days ago or so, we've seen Peter Obi also come out to say that he is ready to work with the Northern Bloc. As a matter of consensus, he still believes that the Northerners still have what it takes to rescue Nigeria. With all of this conversation coming from a man who Nigerians, a lot of Nigerian youths rooted for in terms of presidency, as of the last election for 2023. We saw how Nigerian youth were protesting, carrying out 1 million obedient march across Lagos, across Port Harcourt, and various parts of the country. With this double-sidedness of Peter Obi, asked one of the coalition member from the southeastern part of Nigeria, should we trust Peter Obi first as an individual? Then again, with this double-sidedness as it seems or allegedly seems, should we trust this coalition movement and not to return power back to the north, which has been the fear of majority of Nigerians?
You see, like I said earlier, this coalition and their members have to earn the trust of Nigerians. Nigerians have had people come, form alliances and mergers, and at the end of the day, they hoodwink them, bamboozle them, and give them all kinds of promises. And at the end of the day, we will end up, gnashing our teeth, as we have done in the last like nearly 10 years. So it is something that they will have a lot of work to do to earn the trust of Nigerians, because it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be like in 2014 when the APC, the APC was formed, through a merger, and then at the end of the day, they came and gave us all kind of mouth-watering promises that at the end of the day, none of those promises were delivered. In fact, it got to a point that the then President Muhammad Buhari said that he never promised Nigeria anything, and actually he ended up his tenure without doing anything, because he never promised anything, and that is what we are talking about. So before in the build up to that 2025 and 2015 general election, especially the presidential election, there were promises that were made by the APC. The APC told us how they will end corruption, how they are going to bring an end to insecurity in the country within 6 months. And 8 years passed, insecurity is still there with us. We are still counting another 2 years, and insecurity is still there with us. And rather than the insecurity being dealt with squarely and brought down to the lowest level, we have seen this insurgents transforming into different metamorphosing into bandits, herdsmen and others and things like that. And you discover that even within this whole insecurity issue is the Fulani people as a people. And then you see that they are even having issues, because when somebody comes to you and identify himself as a Fulani, then you will now begin to think about herdsmen and things like that. And that is a very bad thing for the Fulanis. And then I was talking to somebody the other day. I said, look, you see, the Fulanis will end up becoming worse placed within the Nigerian space than the Igbo person. Because why? There's always a stereotype. When a particular tribe is stereotyped into certain ways, you discover that it will become difficult for them to relate and associate with the rest of the people. And that is the very dangerous thing that we have to avoid. Let's see how we avoid stereotyping criminality and making it to look as if it is a tribal issue. No, let us begin to deal with the issues the way they are, and then be able to remove tribal coloration to some of these criminalities, so that we can be able to face the enemies of the ordinary people. Go and check it. You see that these are people, young people, poor people being recruited to kill poor people. And have you seen where they are the insecurity? They are going to deal with anybody who is one of those higher and mighty within the government. No, they just go down to the same suffering people and attack suffering people and bring them down.
Well, James, just before as we begin to pack our things to leave the studio, the coalition tend to be tilted again towards the northern part of Nigeria. As a political analyst, using the lens of a political scientist and a political analyst, do you see Nigeria returning back, or power returning back to the north come 2027?
Well, you see, the thing is that the truth of it is that as Nigeria is today, there is no one part of the country that can produce a president of Nigeria.
But in your own opinion right now, with the coalition in place,
but the coalition cannot be able to succeed without the support of the North.
Do you see the power going back to the North?
Well, it depends on what is agreed among them. These people are political gladiators. They can come together and they decide whatever they want. But I don't see where power should be going back to the North when actually an incumbent is from the South. I don't think that is going to help the coalition, because it won't actually help the coalition. It will actually help to make the coalition not to be effective, because if you want to take power from a southerner as it is today, as an incumbent, I don't think if you are going to field a northerner as as the best bait for you to be able to capture power. If you do that, I'm sure that it will not work.
Well, we'll continue to talk about this coalition because we've seen a lot of evolution happening within the coalition space from one party to another. While people will say that the ADC is not the right party for people to bring in as the motto or the vehicle that would drive the coalition. People will say that bringing the SDP, bringing the ZLP and bringing other political parties to drive the coalition. But so far, so good. We've not been able to arrive at any point even with the coalition from the opposition camp. But I want to say thank you so much, James Ezema, for being a part of the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, viewers, this is how far we can go this evening with Big Talk. Do remember that you can join the conversation on our various social media handle currently showing on your screen using at Global TV NG. And you can also download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our various broadcasts. My name is Godwin Sunday. Remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Up next is News Prime. Please stay with Global Television. And from all of us here from the Big Talk crew, it's bye for now.